Good morning again to those of you who've joined in the last couple of seconds. You may notice Gabi is smiling at us at the same time, we were just chatting about it. It's the 23rd session already of our Bits and Bots series that we've been doing, and we obviously, as you'll see on this slide that I'm presenting, are missing Oman, and I tried to grow a little bit more of a beard so that for those of you who are used to seeing them on would feel more comfortable, but it's not working. What he can do in a couple of days is not possible for me. So, but Oman and Gabi picked a super picture. The wife, the baby, and the dog. A slightly different dog, but that's Oman's life, and he's managing to enjoy a little bit of time off. So that's just me today, and obviously with Gabi joining to cover some info at the end. But thank you again for joining us. Today's topics, obviously, with just me being here, and I had briefly discussed yesterday, 2 weeks ago, on our last topic, the ability to be able to manage the browser component of Windows devices when I was speaking about the new Windows agent that is available. And so I thought that continuing what we had already touched on briefly would be a good idea for today. And it's, for those of you who haven't yet used it, it's been really popular in my region with many of the partners. And obviously those that are largely using Windows, and I guess those of you who are perhaps familiar with the likes of and using Android, for an example, and perhaps Chrome, the managed browsing functionality in Chrome that you can do when you add Chrome via our App Store. So let me hop off quickly. I have perhaps also just at a good point to mention the blogs. And for those of you who don't regularly look at our blogs on our website, this is where you'll find some really great information. And specifically this, you'll see one of our team has written a really interesting blog on this exact topic, specifically enterprise browser management on Windows devices. And as I scroll down, some suggestions around the way to be able to configure it, some screenshots, and then perhaps also, which will be interesting, and I'm going to show you some of these just now, some of the reasons why we believe that our partners and our customers would like to make use of this managed browser or enterprise managed browser functionality, and things like creating obviously default search providers, controlling extensions that some of the users on your environment would make use of, password manager and protection. And you'll see even some of the basic ones that I'm going to show you, just a simple change of a home page and a new tab page. But there's some really great configuration that can be set within the profiles component of SureMDM and deployed to your organization's Windows devices in a kind of a streamlined and simple way. And so I'd encourage you, those of you who are supporting customers that are using Windows, to have a look at the blog and to test it and have a go on one of your trial machines or your demo machines, so that at any point in time that you need to show this, it's quick and easy to be able to do. So hopping to my console, I have a laptop enrolled into my console, the same one that I used the last time to be able to display the way that we were enrolling using that new SureMDM agent. I want to go quickly to the remote support session to show you, and I'm going to use Edge so that I don't change some of the Chrome settings that I had set up for the demo. But what you will notice in Edge, once I've connected to the machine, is that it's using a standard, I actually think it's an MSN page that is available for the device, or at least as the home page of the browser when you open Edge on this machine. Let me just quickly double click on Edge, and you will notice, as I said, the MSN screen popping up. A recommendation also for some of those of you who are switching between our next gen remote and our classic remote, you will notice that next gen is significantly faster in terms of the performance and also the data usage. I'm using our classic remote at this point because I have a challenge on GoToMeeting where the audio is not working as clearly as possible when I open the next gen remote, and that's largely because of the call function that's being driven through the the next gen remote session available across the OS types. So I am going to quickly open my remote support session again, just to be able to show you. And while I'm doing that, let's let that open in the background. You're going to find the way to be able to adjust our profiles or the browser management within profiles in the console. Obviously, selection of the operating system, and in this case, we're going to select Windows. And you'll notice I've gone ahead and created a new profile in preparation for this. I've named it bits and bolts, but again, obviously, you can make any changes or create a new console as you would like. Scroll all the way to the bottom of the list of functions, and you will notice the browser management option. And as I mentioned, and you would have seen on that blog as I was scrolling through it, at this point in time, we support Edge, Chrome, and Firefox within this managed configuration environment. So for the sake of what I was going to show, obviously Edge, there are two sets of configuration options, and I'm going to expand both of them for now just to be able to show you. You will notice that the one is specifically mentioned that users can override. These are the default settings that users can override. And you will notice that the second, obviously, or the option above, is those that you can set and enforce on the device. And the same applies on Chrome and on Firefox. There is, I guess, kind of an optional settings, if we could call it that, a suggested settings that you could push down to the users. And then there is also an enforced or mandatory setting that you can use to be able to apply on these devices. So slightly different options, some that are duplicated, and you will notice, as I said, the option that I was going to show you just for setting a home page and a new tab page is available in both. And again, I guess it would depend on the customer's policies or business use case as to whether they would like to enforce that or allow the users to be able to change. I'm going to again quickly open my browser. As I said, you can see that there is the MSN page that is open. Important to note that obviously, as we're changing the configuration of these browsers, it's best to have them closed when you are deploying the latest or updated profile, so that those changes can take place on the device. I'm going to hop to home page or new tab page. In fact, I'm going to do both. And I'm just going to make the 42 Gears homepage the option for both of these. You will see, as I said, a number of other options that can be adjusted, and I would spend, I'm sure, hours if we were to go through. But just a kind of a reinforcement to all of you is that the goal within this is to allow you to be able to take complete control of that browsing environment across the 3 browsers that are currently supported in both a mandatory or an optional way, and so we're obviously really excited about this functionality that's been added. So quick change, new tab page adjusted to our 42 Gears homepage. I'm going to save this configuration, save my profile, and then I'm going to apply this configuration on my Windows device. Remember, again, apply at the top left or right click and apply, and once I've pushed this to the device, we'll hop back onto the remote support screen and open that Edge browser once again. So let's have a quick look that it's been deployed. We're watching the status bars, obviously, on the left-hand side. And I have confirmation that it's been deployed. I can see it in the system log at the bottom. And I'm going to jump back to my remote support screen and open Edge. And if all has gone well, we would have the 42 Gears homepage, both homepage, and if I begin a new tab, you will notice that the 42 Gears page is included on there as well. So again, a really simple example of how quickly you can make those changes to any of your browsers that are deployed on a Windows environment. As I said, it's been in the last month or so that it's been released. I've had really positive feedback from a lot of our partners about exactly how and where they've been able to use this. Again, quick reminder for those of you who are not, definitely switch to the next gen remote. As I said, it's quick enough that I have seen partners of ours streaming videos and streaming application or presentations on a Windows device through SureMDM, and it's really as close to real time as you could possibly get. quick recap again. So within our profiles environment, I'm going to modify just to show you all the way to the bottom, browser management, and then you will notice the exact same features available within Chrome and within Mozilla. So the same, users can override the default settings, and those that are set within the top tab are those which are mandatory on that particular device. And again, within SureFox or within Firefox, you will notice the options as I've mentioned. So I hope, obviously, for those of you who are experimenting in Windows, and based on your feedback, we realized that there was a lot more of our partners that are using different operating system types, and therefore the change to showing a little bit more other than just the Android features in our bits and bolts sessions. But I really hope that this will be useful for all of you who are. Right, so let me hop back into the presentation. As a next slide, for those of you who managed to join Prakash's presentation, you would have heard, obviously, a lot about our new IDP solution known as SureIdP. It was also included in an email that would have been sent to our partners on the 22nd of May. And for those of you who may not have got this, please let us know so that we can make sure that you are added to that partner mailing list. Obviously, from my perspective, SureIdP is keeping with the concept that you would have seen us including in a lot of what we've been doing. Really, the move towards the ability to truly offer a single sign-on type of environment. You would have seen in Hub, we're obviously offering that to you as our partners to be able to have single sign-on to your customers' instances. And in this case, with SureIdP, the ability to be able to launch or access multiple applications on your devices without that repetitive login as has been needed in the past on many applications that were always available. Lots and lots and lots of marketing information going to be coming, yeah, and obviously soon you will be able to see this being offered live within the environment. So again, if any of you didn't receive this mailer that was sent on the 22nd of May, please reach out to one of us, perhaps even to Gabi, using the product marketing email address at 42gears.com, so that we can make sure that you're included on any of these future partner alerts that are coming. Gabi, anything that you want to add to that, or are you happy to jump over onto the?
You covered everything.
Okay, good.
You covered everything. Thank you.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So I've taken actually the opportunity that Arman is not here to just have a few words with regards to the marketing side, and specifically the Cosmos portal. I mean, what you will see on the screen looks really bad because it's my test account, so it's not. I don't register deal, I don't win deals, and I don't bring revenue. Yes, so this is our Cosmos portal. Hopefully you have access. If you don't, again, send an email to myself, partnermarketing@42gears.com, and I can set you up. But it's very important because you will be able to get loads of information here. So obviously, you know, it is for the marketing team, but also very much for the sales and technical employees. So what's important, I wanted to just focus on today, is actually the campaign in a box. As you see, we actually have loads of campaign in the portal, loads and loads. So, but I highlighted the latest one. From a SureIdP perspective, the material is already on the portal, even if we haven't officially made a general announcement. That will most likely come next week, the announcement, and we will be looking to do some enablement webinar with you as well. But the material to just go out and promote from your end, SureIdP is already in the system, in the Cosmos. We also recently launched a campaign. We call it an end-of-life campaign, but actually it's a software that is at an end-of-life stage campaign. So we know that there are customers out there that have been notified that their software is end-of-life. And therefore, we just want to remind them that actually they're taking a risk if they carry on with an end-of-life software, and we bring forward the opportunity to switch or to actually look at what risk they're taking. So we made available to our partners some mailers, a little white paper, and also a questionnaire that currently is actually sitting on our website. But if you are planning to use this campaign, we can give you a tailored URL that is bespoke to you, so any of your customer can fill in that little questionnaire. And once we get the information, we can then pass it on back to you. We have also still the SureMDM in Locate. Of course, in Locate is such a great feature. And let's not forget, it comes as a standard on Enterprise. And also, not long ago, we launched Sure Access. Just as we obviously welcome you onto this webinar, and so that's where we actually give a little bit of heads up on what's coming as well. We talked a lot about Sure Insight. I think from an analytics perspective, I believe is going to launch again, if it's not next week, the following week. So, but we are ready to launch Sure Insight, and this is really, really exciting. And I don't know, Stuart, if you want to just maybe mention, we had our CEO and CTO in Manchester last week, actually, and they gave us a sneak preview of our new look and feel. I don't know if you want to mention something about it.
Yeah. I mean, I think for many of those of you, and again for those partners that I chat to regularly, further insights and some analytical information across a varied base of devices has always been, I guess, a request that constantly pops up. And what I was able to see was really exciting. There's the ability to really customize and drill down into some valuable information that we know or expect would be helpful for you. And again, as Gabi said, the large majority of what we've been mentioning around the new features are all included in our Enterprise Edition, which for those of you who are historically not offering Enterprise, may be an option to be able to upsell and to be able to get access to all of these new features that are coming within the SureMDM environment. But very excited. I hope within the next couple of weeks that many of you will be able to see and experience what we were able to last week.
Okay, so I guess it takes us to the next slide.
Super, yeah, no problem at all. Let me quickly get to that. Great. And then, other than just a reminder, please, and thank you to those of you who have attended. Gabi in the background, although you don't normally see her, keeps a very close track on who's been attending, and we'd love to be able to get those attendance raffle tickets in as good as we possibly can. Any questions? And you would, I guess, for those of you who join more regularly, would have seen this slide almost every time. But from a marketing perspective, and we mentioned the email address a little bit earlier, please feel free to reach out to Gabi on partnermarketing@42years.com. Really, absolutely anything that you might need, and I think I'm one of those who probably doesn't explain this as often to the partners that I call with, but we have Gabi and a team of marketing people who are available to be able to help you in any possible way. Lots and lots and lots of really exciting bits of marketing information that can be made available. And then our tech support team, obviously available on an email address or via chat or web ticket or telephone, many different ways of getting hold of them, but obviously they're available 24/7 to you and to your customers in the case of any technical questions that may come up. Other than that, again, anything else to add? If not, thank you again to those of you that have made the time, and it's always a pleasure chatting to you, and we'll see you again on the 11th of June. So thank you again, everybody. Yeah, we'll have Aman back looking relaxed, I'm sure. Super. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.